UNESCO is the United Nations educational, scientific, and cultural organization. It contributes to peace and security by promoting international cooperation in education, sciences, culture, communication, and information. UNESCO promotes knowledge sharing and the free flow of ideas to accelerate mutual understanding and a more perfect knowledge of each other's lives. UNESCO's programs contribute to the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals defined in the 2030 Agenda, adopted by the UN General Assembly in 2015. As early as 1942, in wartime, the governments of the European countries, which were confronting Nazi Germany and its allies, met in the United Kingdom for the Conference of Allied Ministers of Education, CAME. World War II was far from over, yet those countries were looking for ways and means to rebuild their education systems once peace was restored. The project quickly gained momentum and soon acquired a universal character. New governments, including that of the United States, decided to join in. Upon the proposal of CAME, a United Nations Conference for the establishment of an educational and cultural organization, ECO/CONF, was convened in London from 1 to November 16, 1945. Scarcely had the war ended when the conference opened. It gathered together representatives of 44 countries who decided to create an organization that would embody a genuine culture of peace. In their eyes, the new organization was to establish the intellectual and moral solidarity of mankind and thereby prevent the outbreak of another world war. Political and economic arrangements of governments are not enough to secure the lasting and sincere support of the peoples. Peace must be founded upon dialogue and mutual understanding. Peace must be built upon the intellectual and moral solidarity of humanity. In this spirit, UNESCO develops educational tools to help people live as global citizens free of hate and intolerance. UNESCO works to ensure that every child and every citizen has access to quality education. By promoting cultural heritage and the equal dignity of all cultures, UNESCO strengthens the bonds between nations. UNESCO fosters scientific programs and policies as platforms for development and cooperation. UNESCO stands up for freedom of expression, as a fundamental right and a key condition for democracy and development. As a laboratory of ideas, UNESCO helps countries to adopt international standards and manages programs that foster the free flow of ideas and the exchange of knowledge. UNESCO's founding vision was born in response to a world war marked by racist and anti-Semitic violence. 70 years later and many liberation struggles later, UNESCO's mandate is more relevant than ever. Cultural diversity is under attack and new forms of intolerance, rejection of scientific facts and threats to freedom of expression challenge peace and human rights. In response, UNESCO's duty remains to reaffirm the humanist missions of education, science, and culture. The United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, was born on November 16, 1945. UNESCO has 195 members and 8 associate members and is governed by the General Conference and the Executive Board. The Secretariat, headed by the Director General, implements the decisions of these two bodies. The organization has more than 50 field offices around the world and its headquarters are located in Paris. UNESCO's mission is to contribute to the building of a culture of peace, the eradication of poverty, sustainable development, and intercultural dialogue through education, the sciences, culture, communication and information. UNESCO works to create the conditions for dialogue among civilizations, cultures, and peoples, based upon respect for commonly shared values. It is through this dialogue that the world can achieve global visions of sustainable development encompassing observance of human rights, mutual respect, and the alleviation of poverty, all of which are at the heart of UNESCO's mission and activities. UNESCO focuses on a set of objectives in the global priority areas Africa and gender equality, and on a number of overarching objectives. Attaining quality education for all and lifelong learning. Mobilizing science knowledge and policy for sustainable development. Addressing emerging social and ethical challenges. Fostering cultural diversity, intercultural dialogue, and a culture of peace. Building inclusive knowledge societies through information and communication. UNESCO, United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, is an international organization. It is one of the 17 legally independent specialized agencies of the United Nations. It has its headquarters in Paris, France. At present, 195 member states are represented in UNESCO. With the exception of Liechtenstein, the 193 states of the Union are all UNESCO members. American Samoa are the Cook Islands, Niue, and the Palestinian territories, which are not represented in the UN. In addition, UNESCO has 9 associate members. UNESCO's tasks include the promotion of education, science, and culture as well as communication and information. The founding agreement came into force on November 4, 1946, after ratification by 20 states. The first Director General was Julian Huxley. The Constitution of UNESCO was signed by 37 states in London on November 16, 1945, half a year after the end of World War II. In the preamble, the guiding principle of UNESCO is stated as follows. From the experience of World War II, the founding nations drew the lesson that a peace based exclusively upon the political and economic arrangements of governments would not be a peace which could secure the unanimous, lasting, and sincere support of the peoples of the world, and that the peace must therefore be founded, if it is not to fail, upon the intellectual and moral solidarity of mankind. UNESCO awards the title of World Heritage, World Cultural and Natural Heritage, to sites that are of world significance because of their uniqueness, authenticity, and integrity. Sites are nominated for the title by the states in which they are located. The basis for the World Heritage title is the World Heritage Convention. It was ratified by 190 states parties in 1972. The first World Heritage list from 1978 included the Aachen Cathedral, a German site. Currently, as of July 27, 2024, the UNESCO World Heritage List includes 1,223 monuments in 168 countries. 50 sites extend across political state borders to several countries. 952 sites are considered World Heritage Sites, and 231 sites are World Natural Heritage Sites. 40 sites bear the attribute mixed, i.e. they are both cultural and natural heritage. The World Heritage Convention exists since 1972. In 2019, the list of UNESCO World Heritage contains 1,121 sites in 167 countries. Of these, more than 800 are cultural monuments and almost 200 nature sites. Over 30 sites belong to both the cultural as well as the nature heritage. In addition, the title World Document Heritage has existed since 1992, by which the UNESCO preserves and distinguishes the documentary heritage of humanity as cultural memory. Immaterial cultural heritage can also be placed under the protection of the UNESCO. This applies to, for example, cultural traditions, artisanal and artistic skills, and oral traditions. The World Heritage Convention is based on different points that must be adhered to in order to be recognized as World Heritage. Uniqueness, authenticity, integrity. A World Heritage Site must exhibit an outstanding universal value, OUV. This OUV, according to 49 of the operational guidelines, means cultural and/or natural significance which is so exceptional as to transcend national boundaries and to be of common importance for present and future generations of all humanity. As such, the permanent protection of this heritage is of the highest importance to the international community as a whole. UNESCO developed 10 criteria for the purpose of assessing the OUV, the first 6 of which are relevant for cultural sites and cultural landscapes, while the last 4 establish the conditions for the nature heritage. At least one has to be fulfilled for being enlisted as UNESCO World Heritage. These criteria are explained in the operational guidelines for the implementation of the World Heritage Convention which, besides the text of the convention, is the main working tool on World Heritage. The criteria are regularly revised by the committee to reflect the evolution of the World Heritage concept itself. Until the end of 2004, World Heritage sites were selected on the basis of 6 cultural and 4 natural criteria. With the adoption of the revised operational guidelines for the implementation of the World Heritage Convention, only one set of 10 criteria exists. To be included on the World Heritage list, sites must be of outstanding universal value and meet at least 1 out of 10 selection criteria. Selection criteria: to represent a masterpiece of human creative genius, to exhibit an important interchange of human values, over a span of time or within a cultural area of the world, on developments in architecture or technology, monumental arts, town planning, or landscape design. To bear a unique or at least exceptional testimony to a cultural tradition or to a civilization which is living or which has disappeared. To be an outstanding example of a type of building, architectural or technological ensemble or landscape which illustrates a significant stage in human history. To be an outstanding example of a traditional human settlement, land use, or sea use which is representative of a culture, or cultures, or human interaction with the environment, especially when it has become vulnerable under the impact of irreversible change. To be directly or tangibly associated with events or living traditions, with ideas, or with beliefs. With artistic and literary works of outstanding universal significance. The committee considers that this criterion should preferably be used in conjunction with other criteria. To contain superlative natural phenomena or areas of exceptional natural beauty and aesthetic importance. To be outstanding examples representing major stages of Earth's history, including the record of life, significant ongoing geological processes in the development of landforms, or significant geomorphic or physiographic features. To be outstanding examples representing significant ongoing ecological and biological processes in the evolution and development of terrestrial, freshwater, coastal and marine ecosystems and communities of plants and animals. To contain the most important and significant natural habitats for in situ conservation of biological diversity, including those containing threatened species of outstanding universal value from the point of view of science or conservation. Thank you for watching this video.